Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? I'm your host, Seth Julian Washington, welcoming you to today's briefing. And we are going to take a look at the week ahead, and there's a lot to look at. First, let's take a look at what we've been up to in the past. The gold trade is clearly holding up. It's well over the 61% Fibonacci retracement, ticking in with a 1925 handle. Fibonacci 61 retracement is 1899. So it's well above that, 1925 handle, headed to 1973, which of course is the 78% Fibonacci retracement. It's going there. It's going there on higher volume, as you can see from here, and I should just say, sometimes this is relevant, sometimes it's not. The large commercial hedgers are net long gold, and they are generally considered the smart money. But this indicator is not the most reliable. Now it looks reliable, so take that for what it is. It's these yellow lines are the Keltner channel, and the trading is at or above the Keltner volatility adjusted channel. So that's also a good sign for positive movement. Let's take a look at the economic calendar this week, and there's some important doings on the economic calendar. First of all, by the way, Happy Chinese New Year, Happy Year of the Rabbit. I hope it goes well for everybody, better than the last year. So we got Chinese New Year all this week. China is closed for business. Mrs. Lagarde speaks today. She's the president of the European Central Bank, and she's probably going to talk tough and continue the hawkish interest rate policy. That means hawkish in the sense that they're not going to lower it, which is referred to as dovish. So Mrs. Lagarde's words are going to be scrutinized tonight for more interest rate policy indications. We've got the Bank of China, the Bank of Canada telling us their interest rate decisions and monetary deliberations this week. That's always important. The German IFO Business Climate Index, that's a sentiment index. That's always important in Germany. U.S. reports initial jobs claims on Thursday. That's always an important indicator. And Friday, of course, we have Mrs. Lagarde speaking again. And pending home sales in the United States, as well as core PCE. Core PCE, by the way, is the Federal Reserve's chosen indicator of choice with respect to inflation. So that core PCE indicator is going to be scrutinized very heavily come 13:30 GMT on Friday. We also are well into the midst of the earnings report season. And these are the folks reporting out this week. We've got International Business Machines, American Express, the giant payments processor, one of the biggest, and General Electric, the huge power and generation, Halliburton, oil field services, crucial indicator of oil field and oil price inventory generation. Excuse me 1 minute. And Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, Uncle Sam's biggest contractor and armaments manufacturer, Triple Mary, Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, a.k.a. 3M, Microsoft, Raytheon Technologies, another giant U.S. Pentagon supplier, Boeing, of course, Intel, Levi Strauss, AT&T, Tesla reports this week. That's going to be a bloodbath for sure. Apple, MasterCard, again, MasterCard and Visa. These guys power the world's consumer economy. They together account for probably something like 12 to 15% of the complete capitalization of the S&P 500. They're giants. U.S. Steel, speaking of giants. Caterpillar, speaking of giants. And Chevron. So this is a big, heavy-duty week for earnings reports. And let me just finally show you the charts that we're really looking at this week. This is natural gas. This is a dual, there's two charts here. We've got the candlesticks is the natural gas contract that trades at the NYMEX exchange in New York, and this brown line is the Dutch oil gas contract, which delivers in Rotterdam. You can see that they're just turning up. Now, the correlation coefficient, which I don't normally track as a rule, but this, in the case of and I've also converted these, you should know, to equal amounts. They're both denominated in euros per megawatt hour. That obviates the inordinately complex calculation of changing the dollars to millions of BTUs. The U.S. contract is priced in dollars per millions of BTUs, and the European contract is euros per megawatt hour. I've converted them both to euros for megawatt hour, and you see that the price is 3 times higher in Europe for the equivalent quantity of natural gas in the United States. The United States is trading for, call it 11. In Rotterdam, it's trading for 67. That's a huge differential, and it's going to get worse. As you can see, the price just turning up here. Volume is just starting to turn up. And if cold weather continues, as we've been mentioning all during the post-summer season, these prices are likely to turn. Keep in mind, this is speculation. We could be wrong. You should only be trading money that you can afford to lose. This is the capital markets, and there's risk in the capital markets. And the risk is precisely of the unexpected occurring, because occur it does. So the natural gas trade is looking up. And speaking of looking up, we've got the gold trade, which we mentioned earlier. So that's going to do it for now, ladies and gentlemen. That's our roundup for the week. I'm your host, Seth Julian, wishing you all, ladies and gentlemen, the ability to trade with confidence. Chalas for now.